Guys, I just cashed out my IRA to buy Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you why I did it coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Somewhat Scholarly. My name is Alan Hibbard, and yes, the rumors are true. I liquidated my retirement account so I could gamble on a digital asset. It feels very good. It feels right for me. And some of you guys may be saying like, what? That's so crazy. You gave up your safety net, right? Your backup plan. Others of you might be saying like, what? You're going to pay a 10% penalty plus taxes up front? I mean, you're going to lose, a third of your money or half of your money just right off the bat. Like, that sounds so crazy. I'm going to talk about the numbers. I'm going to talk about the emotions. I'm going to talk about the risk reward trade-off. And those are going to be part of my first 3 reasons. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a 4th reason, which is even more important than all of that. It's a way bigger reason, so make sure you stick around. Reason number 1, the numbers. I think that the numbers are much more favorable for me in the long term if I'm not in a retirement account than if I am. Let me explain. So a lot of you guys know that if you do take money out of a retirement account before you're actually retired, you face a 10% penalty right off the top as an early withdrawal penalty. On top of that, any money you receive is taxed as ordinary income. So it's taxed anywhere up to 40% depending on your income bracket. So for me, since I'm not making any income right now, the ordinary income tax rate for me is actually fairly low, but let's assume a conservatively high number of 23%. And the reason I picked that is because a 10% penalty plus a 23% tax is 33%. So that means right off the bat, I'm losing a third of my money. Okay, how long will it take me to get that back if I invest it? Well, if we look at what a lot of conventional asset classes did last year in 2020, we see that bonds did about 7.5%, depending on what index you use. Stocks, for example, the S&P 500 returned about 16% or 18% if you include dividends. Gold came in much stronger than that, almost 25%, and silver almost 42%, which is a huge year. Of course, these are not typical years. On average, pretty much all of these numbers would be lower, but because of the macroeconomic environment that we're in with insane money printing by central banks, I expect all of these asset classes to have very strong returns over the coming 5 to 10 years compared to what they've done historically. So if I want to make back the money that I'm losing when I pull it out of my retirement account, I actually need to get a 50% return to make back the 33% that I lost. So how long will it take me to make a 50% return? Well, I'm putting it into Bitcoin. I'm not putting it into these other asset classes. And last year, Bitcoin returned over 300%, which means if you put $1 in, you got an additional 3 back for a total of 4. 4x'd your money. If 2021 is similar to 2020, then I'll make my money back very quickly. And of course, if I don't make my money back, well, I'm comfortable with that risk. I understand that it's not a guarantee and that there's a very real chance that I lose everything in Bitcoin, but I'm okay with that. I'm still a young guy. If I have to start over at 0, I'm comfortable with that. It's not something I'm looking forward to, but I do think about it almost every day, and it is a risk I'm willing to take. Number 2, options. I want options. It's that simple, right? I don't want to be limited to only $5,500 in this account per year, or $6,500 if I'm a certain age. I don't want to be limited to, oh, you can only buy stocks and bonds and mutual funds because it's pre-approved by the government and other investments are dangerous for you. I don't want to be limited like that. I don't want to be limited like, the markets are only open from 9:30 to 4, and if you want to make a change, you got to do it in that window. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to be limited by, we're company XYZ and we only provide these types of things on our dashboard and you don't have access to these alternatives. No, I just don't want that. I don't want that. Too many restrictions. Not to mention the fact that I did a lot of research several years ago to choose a retirement account provider that I was happy with, that actually did have the types of options I wanted, that did have reasonable fees, and okay, that was great for a few years. Then they were acquired by a second company. And what happened? Pretty much all the options that I enjoyed went away, and the fees that I was comfortable paying skyrocketed. They went up by a factor of something like 10 for the types of trades that I wanted to do. I mean, it was a total deal breaker. And for a small retirement account, which is mine, it was cost prohibitive to make trades. So basically my account sat without making any trades for like over a year, until a couple months ago, that second company was acquired by a third company. And what happened there? Well, more of the same. So pretty much anything I wanted to do was out the window, and fees were through the roof. And so what am I going to do? I felt paralyzed. I felt trapped. I mean, just had no options of anything that I wanted to do. And you know, if you're a different type of person, you might have been very happy with that interface, very happy with the fee structure. If you're a certain type of trader, it could work for you. Didn't work for me. Wasn't the types of trades I wanted to make. So time to get out. Number 3, feelings. Guys, so far we've talked about the numbers and the options, and that's good. It's all rational, right? It's good to have high numbers in the short term and long term. It's good to have options in the short term and long term. But why do we care about that? Why do we care about having more money instead of less? Why do we care about having more options instead of less? The emotions, right? It's all about the feelings we get. So one thing I want to share is that the biggest reason so far, even bigger than the first 2 reasons, is that I was feeling trapped. I was feeling claustrophobic. I was feeling like I was suffocating. As the different companies kept changing the rules, I kept feeling like the walls were closing in on me. And like I was exerting all this energy and effort just to try to maintain my existing options, just to feel like I wasn't, crumbling and falling apart. And that's not a good feeling you want to have, right? That's not a good place to be. So if I'm going to exert a whole bunch of energy and effort, I want it to be so that I can expand my options. So yeah, there's pain, saying goodbye to a third of my money up front, but it's so that I feel better now and I feel better in the future, right? Short-term pain for long-term gain. It's also very important to me that I feel like I'm in control, that I feel like I'm free, like I feel like I'm independent. And now I had those feelings. So when I had a retirement account, I felt dependent on the government and its laws. I felt dependent on this company and its service that it provides. I felt dependent on the stock market and the few set of options that were available to me. I don't like feeling that way. I don't like feeling limited. I don't like feeling dependent. I don't like feeling like I'm like under the thumb of anybody for that matter. So now I feel like relieved. I feel like I can do whatever I want, well, within reason. And I understand that that's not how everyone would feel. A lot of people feel very safe having a retirement account. They like checking their balance every month or every quarter or whatever it is. They feel very comfortable knowing that that money is going to be there when they're older. They feel very safe and secure. And I get that. I understand. It's just not how I feel. I feel trapped. And so my feelings are very different than your feelings. You've got to make your own decisions. And I think it goes without saying that none of this is financial advice, right? I'm just sharing with you how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and what I'm doing. Number 4, ethics. Guys, this is by far the most important reason of all my reasons. I feel like it is unethical for me personally to participate in this system. I've been studying money for almost 15 years now, and there's a lot of things I don't know. I'll admit that. There's a lot of things I'll probably never know in my entire life. But there's one thing that I have discovered that I feel very strongly about, and that is the fact that the fiat monetary system is highly, highly unethical. It is completely immoral from bottom to top, and it was designed to be that way. I am certain of it. And so I don't want to participate in the fiat monetary system for a moment longer than I have to. Unfortunately, I've got to pay taxes in fiat, right? If I don't pay taxes, I go to jail, ultimately. And it's not just the fiat monetary system that I think is unethical, it's almost every system built on top of it, certainly in the United States. So yes, the retirement system, but also things like our education system, our healthcare system, and our whole financial system, which includes the retirement system. I think they're incredibly unethical systems. I think they're labeled as being helpful to the average person. In reality, they're incredibly, incredibly destructive to the average person. Their health, their happiness, their wealth, their identity, their humanity. I think that so many of the crises that we're seeing today in 2020, 2021, so many of these crises are caused by the fiat monetary system. So yes, it might not seem like it. It might seem like a bit of a leap, but I've been studying this for a long time. It's something I've come to believe. If you want to know my reasons, I'm happy to provide them to you. Let me know in the comment section. I could make separate videos for different aspects of that, because it does feel like quite a leap to just come out and say that. But it's one of the very few things that I feel certain of. And because I have such strong convictions in the immorality of the fiat monetary system, I got to get out. I got to get out. It doesn't matter if I double money or 10x my money. None of that matters. The ethical implications matter. And I know that I can't be my authentic self while I have this knowledge, this belief in the fiat monetary system, if I were to continue participating. It just doesn't make sense. So this is a personal truth for me, and I have to honor that. I have to get out of the fiat monetary system and the systems built on top of it to the best of my ability as quickly as I can. Easier said than done, but it's something I need to do. All right, guys, what do you think? Am I crazy or not? Am I sane? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.